welcome to the show on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. We are checking out the all-new version 2 little Panther from Freewing. This has been one of our very popular 64mm jets, and it just got a refresh. On the last batch we had the new paint job come in. Well, we wanted to do a little more updating on it, so now it has a more powerful motor and some redesigning to the foam molds to make this airplane even better than it was before. And I'm excited. James got the last one. This will be my first time having the Panther. I've just been coming off the Cougar, which has been a lot of fun, so I can only imagine this is going to fly fantastic too. It's one of the few 64mm jets I haven't flown yet from us, and I'm super looking forward to it. Real quick before we get into it, speaking of Cougars, they're in stock now, so if you would like one, make sure you check those out over at motionrc.com. They are available now. And without further ado, we're going to get into the unboxing here in just a second. As you can see, it is labeled V2 when you get one. But let's get this thing out of the box and let's start putting it together today. That's kind of the fun we're going to do today. The other thing I'm going to do, this one doesn't really fit a stand that great, so I always just grab a piece of this cheap carpet and I build on it when I'm doing one of these. So let's roll one of these pieces out. I get this from like Lowe's or Home Depot. It's just some cheap outdoor carpeting. You can get it for 10 bucks or so. And it keeps you from damaging your airplane though while you're putting it together. So let's slide her out of the box and take a look at it. For customers that have the older version, it used to have that yellow on the wings. It now has a new paint job. Hi-ya! It's tight. A new ESC, a new motor, all the goodies. Should be a pretty easy assembly today, but I figured why not get on here and hang out with you guys. These are in stock right now too, so if you are interested in this airplane as the broadcast is going, it will be live on the website for you to get these. These went on the website last night, and we're going to be checking it out together today. Hiya! And I do have the comment section in front of me. Just try to check it out. Larry 813, is this RDR? No, this is a plug and play. It's going to come with everything but the battery, the receiver, and the transmitter. We normally do that with all of our models because most of our pilots here buy their one good Futaba radio that's going to fly all their models, and that way you don't need to buy one with every airplane. It saves you money in the long run to just go on and spend that little extra money to get a good radio right off the start that's going to work with you throughout your hobbying. But yeah, it comes with everything other than the battery, the receiver, and the transmitter. But we'll go over that more as we go. Claudio, I don't know if I'm going to get this right. Mouquet. My F9 64 V1 has so many flights and stills, looks like new, reliable model, and so easy. Yeah, I know a lot of customers loved this airplane, and like I said, I've always been looking forward to it. Another quick change that we can go over real quick as we get out of the box here is that the hatch has actually been redesigned. The old version had a magnetic hatch, whereas the new hatch has got a click in and then it's got a button to take it on and off. So it's going to really help it from ever getting blown off. Yeah, Larry, no problem. I hope you enjoy today's show as we get through this. I'm going to just start unbagging parts. We're going to get them all laid out here on the table. I'll probably try and hold them up for you to see a good shot of them. And also we'll take a good look at that new paint job as we go. There were a couple mold changes on the model, and we'll go over those as we go. Hiya! So there is that wing and that new paint job we were talking about. Beautiful looking. Really like that silver on the tip and the yellows. Really looking good. All your graphics come pre-applied on this model, as do most of our 64mm models. And if I miss anything, Lori, just kind of pick it out to me. I'm trying to keep up with it. Mike Bird, welcome in today, sir. Good to see you. Anthony, good to see you too. There's that other wing. Get a good look at that. Hopefully some of you have been able to get out and fly your Cougars this week. I've been seeing a lot of guys talking about them over on Facebook. Seems like guys are really loving this airplane. It's been pretty darn popular. And perfect timing to have a new version of the Panther too on that. So customers that have had the older version know the old version was a 3S model. And now this has got a mold change to fit in a bigger motor. And it also can accommodate larger batteries now to where this is 4S. So this should be a rocket ship now. You can see there it's got actual hinges embedded into the foam. These are not foam hinges. No flaps. No, this is a pretty small model, Bill. There really isn't no need for flaps on one this small. Like I said, we have the full feature models when you get to the little bit larger ones. If you're looking for one with flaps and retracts and stuff, like I said, we have that Cougar behind me. But yeah, so there you go. There's the other half of the elevator as we get it all out of the box. Yes, Mike, it's going to be 4S now. From what I've heard from the guys that were doing the testing on this, it almost launches itself out of your hands now with this horsepower. Which I can only imagine, because I think this is the same motor that's in the version 2 F16, and I have had a blast with that. There's our rudder. It is a non-functioning rudder. It's just a vertical stabilizer. Once again, these are kind of more of a hand toss. Get into it really inexpensively model. Our nose cone. And you can actually see it's got the little guns molded into the end of it. I love that. Good looking paint job on this airplane too. We have our bag, including our wing spars, some of our hinge stuff, control rods, that type of thing. And I don't know if we're going to fully set this airplane up today on the radio and everything, but we're going to get it out, put it together, check it out. Just like the old version, it still comes with your two-part epoxy right there in the box to put this airplane together. It is an older model, so it still is glued together construction. And most of our 64mm airplanes are that glued together construction. Toss and boss. Exactly, Mike. Yeah, the Cougar is an evolution from the Panther. That's why I was like, it worked out perfect that we just got them both in stock to go over them today. Like I said, hopefully everybody's having some fun. I bet it's going to be fast and a blast to fly. I bet you are correct. So here is the fuselage. And one of the very first changes I can tell you is the old version had magnets up here in the front to hold the canopy on. Whereas the new version is going to have where it keys in, and then you have the actual clip to hold it down. There you go. You can see that. You've got that clip now right there on the top to hold it in. Just a little bit of a convenience of life thing to make that where it comes on and off. You don't have to worry about it blowing off anymore. Pretty cool. And I think we actually have a shot of that mold change. If you want to pop it up on the screen for just a second, Lori. Yeah, pop. Oh, there you go. It's on the screen right now. Ha! There you go. But you can see you now have that actual clip to hold your hatch on instead of using magnets, which is much better design. And then it also has been redesigned to have this compartment up at the front to hold a larger battery. So here you are side by side. You can see the old version with the yellow wings. It had a little bit smaller, tighter battery bay where they did a mold change on the new version to where you can get into a 2200 4S up into the nose of this airplane now. I believe the old one was a 1800 was the largest battery it recommended. But now we can recommend the 4S 2200s in this one. And I'm just trying to say, yeah, old version still works. Hey, you know, when the old version finally comes to its end, maybe it's time for the new one, you know? Gotta go fly my old version tonight. Yeah, this was a really popular airplane. I mean, a lot of our customers have this model and have really enjoyed it over the years. But yeah, let's get to assembling. Should be pretty straightforward and easy today. Grab my manual and we will work along with it. I'll give you the specs of the motor real quick. This has the 2840, 2850 kV Outrunner motor now, but it is the 4S version. see if there's anything else. Oh, okay, and it also has the new 40 amp ESC with reversing. Now the model does not come stock out of the box with landing gear, but we do have them as an upgrade option if you wanted to add them to the model. It does take adding the servo to the nose. I don't believe it comes with it. Yeah, it does not come with it, but there is a space for it. And then you can get the landing gear for this model if you wanted to be able to take off and land it. Will a 4S65C battery fit? Yes, as long as it's 2200 to 1600 milliamps are your size of your battery on this new version. All right. And step 1 in the manual is to put the wings on. I usually don't do that, and I usually put the rudder on first. But we shall put it together as it says. Why not? So get my bag of assorted goodies here opened up. And we will start checking it out. I'm going to dump all the little pieces out here. So we have our carbon spars, which need to go into the wing, and they go into this hole right here. Get the other one and get that wing tube installed. Yeah, I hope a lot of you guys are enjoying this. They've been refreshing a lot of models here lately. There's also a new version of the 64mm F16 that now has included tail servos. It's actually sitting right there in the box. We're going to be hanging out and doing that one here pretty soon too. Admiral 2200 4S should fit fine. Yeah, actually I can show you here in just a second. Lori, would you grab out of that cabinet over there a Admiral, I think the yellow one is the 65 bottom cabinet, or the orange one I should say. There should be a 2200, yep, that one right there. Here we go. We'll just answer your question real quick. So I've got the 45C Admiral 2200 here for the customer that was asking, and I see no issue with this fitting in here at all. Let me move the battery straps and stuff out of the way, and we'll just slide it in there for you real quick. Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. There's the 2200 in there. Still have room to move it back and forth too. As we get the airplane together later on in the assembly, I'll show you that a little bit better. Some of these rods are kind of up here that go into the tail at the moment to make it a little harder to do that. Here we go. And like I said, the reason I like using this carpet here on my workbench is so these smaller models don't fit in the benches always that well. So when I just turn the airplane over here, I'm not going to damage it on this carpet. Let's get these wings ready to go on. What I'm going to do is just kind of get a dry fit and go on and push my control wires up inside, like so. Get this one unraveled. Cool color on the paint job. Yeah, I really like this new paint job a lot. I actually saw somebody put this paint job on the new Cougar also, and it really looks sharp on there. Maybe we can pop the fan bay open and give you all a shot of that new motor here in a minute too, once we kind of get it put together a little bit. Flying Fortress, good. Those are the only batteries I've got. Oh, I'm putting the wings on backwards. Just noticed I had it upside down. That's why we test fit, right? Goes on this side. There we go. What I want to do before we get the glue out is get all this in here and get my wires ran up to the front of the model, and then all we got to do is glue it and slide them in there. What I'm thinking is I'm going to be able to reach in from the front and grab them. Yep, sure will. I will say this part would be a lot easier if you have a pair of like forceps or needle nose pliers. So you can reach in and grab your wires and get them up to the front of the model. like so. Can it be, or must it be?
Can it
Oh yeah, I don't see any reason it shouldn't be able to be underhand launched. If this has the same amount of horsepower as that little F16 at full throttle, it's going to jump out of your hand. I can't wait to try this. Like I said, that new power system, we've been putting in a lot of these 64mm models lately. They give them new life. Like I said, I'm just snaking these wires up right now. This is the hardest part of the whole assembly right here, is getting your wires snaked up inside. It's not that hard, but it just takes a few minutes. There we go. And before we get any glue, we always want to dry fit everything. So let's take and just get everything seated. Let's dry fit our wires. They go in nicely. Our wings, they seat nicely. Great. Very good. All right, let's get some of our glue out. Let's see, I need something to mix up some glue on top of. Here we go. I got this little baggie right here that'll work great for it. And then, Lori, would you hand me one of those Q-tips? Didn't even think about it before I got started. So, like I said, you've got your two-part epoxy. It comes in the model. You're going to want to just mix these evenly. Find you a tray, something. I'm going to use this plastic that one of the parts came out of to mix up my epoxy with. Super easy. I don't think we're going to come even close to using this whole thing. Question: does this model have the same wingspan as the previous version? It is exactly the same wingspan as the version 1, yes. Yeah, with 4S, this thing is going to jump out of your hands. It's going to be great. Now, epoxy can be cleaned up if you do make a mess with this with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. Now, the problem is on these foam planes is if you try and rub it off with that isopropyl alcohol, you're probably going to take the paint off. But if you make a mess with this on your kitchen table and you don't want your wife to kill you, a little bit of isopropyl alcohol is going to take it right off the table if you have that issue. So all I did is make me a little dot of it, and right now I'm going to mix it up. This is probably about 5 minute to 30 minute. I don't think it says it on here. It just says epoxy, so I'm guessing it's probably 5 minute. Oh, it might say it on there somewhere. So I'm just getting that mixed up real quick. We're going to slide our wing halves apart.
It is 5 minutes.
5 minutes. So we have 5 minutes of working time. So right now, it's hard to show this live, but I'm just going to take and put some of that glue in between the two surfaces where it's going to join together. Lori let me know that it actually came with a little spatula if you want to use that too. I always use a Q-tip when I'm doing epoxy. It just seems to work well for me. Use what you would like. And I'm going to smear that real good all around in there. All our little crevices. If you've never used epoxy, don't get me wrong, the normal foam glue is good stuff, but epoxy, it'll break everywhere other than where you epoxied it together at.
James says don't clean your ears with that one, Wes.
Yeah, don't clean your ears with this one. Tell you what, it gives off a good smell, doesn't it? So good to see James. James has actually put this model together before. He's had a couple of these now. Alright, so now that I've got my glue all in there, all I'm going to do is push it together. This isn't foam tack, so you don't do where you take it apart and put it back together. This is just you put it in there and it's there. So while we have that in there, we're going to now route our wire. And I'll pick it up and show you here in a second what I'm talking about, but there's a little channel to put your wire down into. And we're going to get that and work it in there real good. So let's see, can I pick that up and show it to you? I did this side, and I have a little bit squeezing out through it, but that's a good thing. That means that we got enough in there. And Oop, almost set it in the glue. That would have been bad. There we go. Now we need to do the other wing. So let's just do the same thing now. I used about all of my epoxy up, so I might have to make a little bit extra. We shall see. Take and put a little glue in there. And work it around. 5 minutes, yep. I had to read the box to see that too. Yep. 5-minute epoxy. And always use a little less epoxy than you think you need. That way if you need more, you can always just make it. Whereas you can't put it back in the bottle if you use too much of it. So I always just start with a little dab of it. And if it works out enough, then that's great. And if it's not, you can always mix up just a little bit more. Also, you only have 5 minutes with it, and then it starts hardening and you can't use it anymore. So you just put your new glob out there and go on with it. And it's already getting tacky, I can feel it.
Someone wants to know if this comes with holes for tossing.
Holes for tossing it? No, not really. You just grab it from the aft section of the fuselage and give her a good toss. Alright, I'm going to grab me a paper towel real quick because I got a little bit on my fingers and I don't want to get it all over the airplane as we do this. Yeah, there's an easy place to hand hold it right here on the back section of the airplane though when you give it that hand toss without an issue. Alright, I just wanted to get all the goop off my fingers. Now, we're going to keep an eye on this as the assembly goes to make sure everything stays nice and square and straight as our wings are setting up. I said it takes about 5 minutes for the glue to really set up, so we're just going to keep an eye on it. There is a little bit of a wiggle room in here. We want to make sure they're nice and straight. Now, normally if you're doing this at home and not live like I am, I would tell you to glue these wings on, get them nice and straight, and then leave them for about an hour. That way you know the model's not going to move around on you and it's going to fully cure. Now, being that we're doing this live, and I don't think you guys want to sit here and watch glue dry, we're going to keep on going in the process. But I wanted you to see that. So there it is, our wings are now installed. And like I said, just throughout the time as it's drying, I'm going to keep an eye on them. So we're going to move this glue out of the way. We want to make sure we don't set any parts into it. That would be bad. And we're going to go to our next step in the manual. I follow these too. It's a good idea. Alright, so now we are going to glue our rudder halves, or our elevator halves, into our rudder. Same as before, we're going to use our epoxy. It's good stuff. We're going to get a dry fit first, like I always tell you to do. Make sure there's no issues with the fitment of anything. It's nice and straight. Looks good. Alright, let's get our epoxy out again. I'm going to start a new dab of it for this step. Well, I'm still in shot here, yep. I'm going to give me a little dab of that. Not much of this is going to be needed for this part. Say, keep a rag handy for this stuff. You don't want to get it fingerprinted all over the model while you're doing it.
Someone wants to know if you can add the same gear from the previous model.
Okay, so Lori let me know there's a customer asking if you can use the landing gear. Yes, the landing gear will work with this. And there is no spar in the tail. Just before I glue anything, we're going to make sure. Just double check. Nope. Okay. But yes, the landing gear, optional landing gear are available for this kit. You will also need a extra servo for the nose steering. Thank you. And I'm just making sure we're getting a good glue bond. We're getting glue everywhere it needs to be. Push that in there real good.
Back to the holes in the airplane. Alan, he's like, some of our airplanes get holes in them just after a couple of flights. I said it's because of all the cones in the runway, right?
So Alan down there, for the guys that have seen us hanging out with the Cletus crew, is one of the Cletus crew guys. And he's saying that they get holes in theirs after the first flights. I think that's Cletus's fault, though. But yeah, this model is fun as a hand launch, I'll agree. Most of the 64s, the only 64mm I've ever done is the Banshee and the F-16 that had wheels. But most of them, I like them without the wheels anyway. They fly better and they look cooler with the wheels off, so I just leave them off normally. It's not that hard to just hand toss them either. And yeah, guys, like I said, this one is in stock too. If anybody is enjoying this and wants to try one for themselves, they hit the website either this morning or last night, I can't remember, but they are in stock and shipping now. If you want to try your hand at one of these. My goal is, it's been raining a bunch this week, but my goal is to go fly this, hopefully, one of these days this weekend, as it is easy to take this one to the local park to fly it. I don't have to take this all the way down to Larks where we normally fly. Alright, so I'm just going to set everything up. We're going to check the wings again now, since we're already this far. Yep, they are setting up too. 5 minutes is here. Yep, the wings are stuck now. That's a good thing though. Alright, our next step in the process, what? That's right. You heard him, Alan. Gotta have a hand launch on that 80mm A10 next. Especially, well, when he puts the 90s on there, that thing ought to just jump out of his hand. Alright, so, just to make sure I do this right, because when you glue it, you're stuck. So always remember you can test fit things before you put glue on them. So you have to work the little rods. I don't know if you can see this. Here. There's these two little rods back here on the back of the airplane. That's your control horns. And we need to move those up through the elevator. And there's actually a half on each side with a hole that you have to put those through. Yeah, we definitely need old James to run that one down the runway. So what I'm going to do first, before we put any glue on this, is we're going to test fit everything. We always want to make sure everything fits and goes down in there as it should beforehand. Aha! And I'm glad I checked. So one side is cut out all the way and one side needs just a little bit of razor blading in here because we're sticking on it. So I'm going to take and just clean it out. It actually looks like it's just paint that is sticking in there. Take and clean that out. This is definitely what I tell you to do too. Test fit everything before you glue. It's one of those measure once or measure twice, cut once. Because once you stick that glue on there, you got 5 minutes to make it happen. There we go. And like I said, there was this little piece of paint stuck in there that was keeping me from putting that rod through. Let's see if it'll go up now. Still just a hair bit stuck. Let's see here. And take your time, guys. You know, these half of the fun of modeling is doing some of the modeling. Also picked up about the rustiest razor knife I could have. Let me get a sharper one. There's a brand new one. Got my Benchcraft razor blades. Any other questions thus far? Orientation.
They're talking about it, if this would be a good first jet. James has been answering.
Oh, cool.
Again.
Cool, cool, cool. Let me see here. I need a screwdriver or something to push through that. Got that little bit of paint sticking in that hole that's keeping that control. I got it right here. I just needed to clean that hole out with a screwdriver or something so that we can get that control rod to go up through there. Like I said, that's why we test fit everything first. There she goes. Look what I'm hitting on in there. Yeah, it's just hitting on that. Ever so slightly. There we go. I got one through, and now I gotta get the other one through. Aha! Got him. Like I said, just take your time. If you're in a rush, you're gonna tear it up more than you're gonna work. There we go. So it just took me a minute. You can see there's that little control horn wire that has to poke up through there on both sides. And one side had just a little bit of paint in it, and it was keeping me from getting it up in there. But now we've got it. So now we can slide this off to one side, get our epoxy mixed up again, and we're going to stick this on there now.
So you've been told that a 1/8 inch piece of brass tubing sharpened at one end also is a great hole cleaner outer.
Alright, I can see that. A brass piece of tubing with a sharpened end on it would be a great hole cleaner outer thing. Imagine you are probably correct.
It's coming from Bill.
Uh-huh. Well, like I said, the big thing, guys, is just don't get in a hurry. And always dry fit. As you can see, if I would have glued that all up and then tried to stick it on there, I'd have been in a world of hurt. So dry fit first. After you know the part fits, now we can go back in and glue it on. Had to get me a new Q-tip too. The other one glued itself to the table. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to take and just kind of rub that all around in there. Kind of just get all that smashed around in there. There we go. Alright, now we're going to set that off to the side again. Clean our fingers off again because we don't want to get little fingerprints everywhere. And now we can push that all the way in there and key it down. Now once again, normally what I would tell you is get everything set where you want it and then leave it alone for 30 minutes to an hour so that it is straight when it glues. You know, I can straighten it all up, but I might accidentally bounce it into the table here in a minute while I'm trying to do all this live. But what I tell you at home is definitely set it up, set it off to the side and let it dry. And then come back to it in, say, 30 minutes. Right now I'm just trying to make sure everything's straight.
James says tell it away, that's dry by now.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you the wings are dry. That 5-minute epoxy takes about 30 minutes, and we probably glued that 20 minutes ago. So I mean, they're on there now, but it just takes a little bit. So there you go. I mean, we're getting there. We got us a model now. Let's get the nose cone put on next. Well, we still got a little bit of this stuff right here. It hadn't hardened up yet. We'll take a little bit of that glue and just work it around the front. Right, put that off to the side. So we can get our nose cone, and we're going to make sure we align the yellow to the yellow and the blue to the blue. Get it nice and straight. Once again, we're going to hold that for just a minute because we don't want it to come off until it's dry. That gets our nose cone installed. We're going to push on that here in a few minutes. Same thing with the tail, just until it's all 100% cured up. That 5-minute epoxy, when it kicks off, it kicks off. Hey, check that out though. Huh? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, hang on. There we go. It just hadn't cured yet, like I said. Right now is the time to catch that though. Once it hardens up here in a minute, we're going to be going, uh-oh. But hey, it's a pretty good looking airplane, huh guys? Look at that. And I have some of the other 64mm models here if anybody's curious, wants to see it up beside some of the other ones. Sorry, just trying to read through the comments. Yeah, I know, a large 80mm. Hey, well, like I said, we've got the 80mm Panther here behind it. There it is. Cougar. Or Cougar, sorry. I mix these two up all the time. And like I said, they're both in stock now. So we actually have US stock here in the warehouse for guys that want it. I'm just holding this for a minute. I don't want the nose cone to fall off again before it kind of hardens up. Once we give it enough time for that 5-minute to actually kick off, we will start on the next step because we have all the gluing done now. And I just want that to go. But yeah, stock is officially here. EU customers, I checked with them last night. They're looking 10 to 12-ish days for the EU customers to be getting theirs and for some stock to be hitting there. So it's a good time to be playing with all these models. There we go. All right. F9F. Let's see, the Thunder Chief. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is another one of our 64mm planes. This is the F9F. There you go, right on top of it. And I believe those are in stock right now too, but I don't remember off the top of my head. There you go, there's the F9F. I can't tell if the screen's turned around the other way. Can you come flip the screen around so I can see what I'm doing?
My bad.
There we go, alright, there we go. I can see what I'm doing now. But there you go, there's those two. Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger than the F9F, wingspan wise and stuff. Yeah, I got that one from James a while back. It's a pretty cool airplane. The 64 F-16 is definitely quite a bit larger up there, which is also a great model. I mean, we have such a great line of these hand-toss airplanes now for you to get into EDFs. If you're scared and you don't want to spend a lot of money on 6S yet, this is the perfect dip your toe in stuff, and you can have a blast with these airplanes. Especially if you get this with a couple of your friends, you all get 64mm, you can go fly them together. They're a lot of fun. We've had a blast with these things out at our local club. So next step in the process that we're going to want to do is there are two control rods going to the tail of the airplane, and they're mounted right up here in the front. What we need to do is loosen off this screw here, and I'm going to use my Benchcraft multi-tool. I know James will agree with me, this is one of my favorite tools. It's got all your different Allen screw keys to fit all of the Freewing models in one tool. So they're all just kept right there in the back, and you can get the one out that you need at that time. This tool is pretty inexpensive too, and it just saves you a lot of headache because you always have the right one in one tool. And it's got a Phillips on it and a couple other ones, but you've got all your standard size Allen keys built right into it. we're going to loosen that off. We're going to go in and push our wires out of the aft section of the airplane. There we go. Just going to tighten it up lightly because we're going to wait until we get all the control horns on now and get our receiver in to actually mount that. Now, the model does come with all your little control horns, and we have to put these on. Now, they're not that hard to do. It just takes a little time, guys. Nothing to it. You know, this is one of those planes that's just a fun evening project. Hang out. Make sure I put them on there right. Ta-ta. They go to the bottom. All right. So, the one thing I would like is I still am not 100% sure my tail is glued. Oh, yep, it's glued. No worries anymore on that. So, what we need to do now is take our little control horns. You've got this side and this side. The control horn part's going to face towards the bottom. So we're going to slide those in. And then we're going to grab our Benchcraft screwdriver again, and let's change out to the Phillips head. Oops! And throw it across the room. Well, there's another one in that toolbox right there, because I don't know where that went, and I don't want to move the tables to try and find it at the moment. There you go, boom. Yeah, it fell way under there. It's okay. Always have a second one. That's how much I like it. I keep one in my flight box and one in my toolbox here on the table. And they are magnetic too, which is pretty cool. There we go. Now we can hold that in there. That in there. And kapow. And I'm going to get one started, just like that. I'll grab the other one. And this one's got a little schmidge on it, so I'm going to take my razor blade and clean her out. There we go. Not the most exciting part of the build process here. We give you our blessing to pull the trigger. I love it. There we go. Nothing to it. Get them both sucked down. Now we'll do the other side. So I'll grab my pieces. And if you ever have one of these little plastic control horns that just has a little schmudge on it that's keeping you from putting your screw through it, just take your Benchcraft X-Acto knife and clean it out. Works really well. Just kind of roll it around in there. Alright, so I'm going to grab that and this. And then if you don't have a magnetic screwdriver, man, they'll make your life so much easier when you're doing this kind of stuff, because you can stick your screw on there and then stick it in. Super easy. Just like that. Like this. Uh-oh. Getting a phone call. Alright, we got 2 more to go. Almost done. Get our elevator half ones. There's a screw. Yeah, and then James is going to be doing another live tomorrow. He's got to get his set up right after this. Checking out some more of those awesome Bancroft battleships. I know he's been hitting a lot of them lately. They are sweet. Yeah, I just got a few of them from James. Been really digging them. I got the PT boat from James at Top Gun. We took it to the local swimming pool, and everybody was just like, "Oh my gosh, can I try it? Can I try it? Can I try it?" It was so much fun. And we let a whole bunch of people take a rip on the little PT boat, and we had the landing craft out there. Everybody was just having a ball with it.
Next week he's unboxing a large
Hing-Wong. He's getting the Hing-Wongs.
Hing-Wong tactical truck.
Yeah. Those are going to be sweet too. That 8-wheeled one is my favorite. That thing looks crazy. I hope he's getting one of those. I've been wanting to see it. Oh, dropped it. Oh! Last one. And then we're on to the last little couple steps. We are almost ready to go fly this thing. Alright, one more screw. It looks like you do get an extra screw in case you drop one. That never happens, right? While you're assembling stuff. But it does look like they give you an extra control horn screw just in case you were to drop one. Alright. Now, we have all our control horns installed, and I'll give you a good look at that now. But we just put those little horns on. They take the 2 screws, super easy. And now we're going to take these little white guys here, these little clips with the rubber on them, and we're going to screw those on to the elevator control rods and get those prepped so when we fire up the model here momentarily, all we got to do is clip them on. So we'll spin that down on there. You know, this is the amazing part to me in the hobby is, I mean, we took this thing out of the box, what, under an hour ago, and we are almost ready to go fly it. And put the other one on the other side. We got 10 minutes left, and we'll have this thing ready to go fly. Screw that guy down in there, like so. Alright, now, we are at the point where we need to fire up the model for the first time. I'm going to grab a Admiral 6-channel Stability Plus gyro. Currently I'm out of Futaba ones, and waiting on that shipment to come in, so at the moment we're going to just rock one of these. They work good too. The other cool thing is you do have your ailerons on separate leads. So if you didn't want to use the Y harness, you could put them in their own channels if you have a 6-channel like this, and you could set up flapperons. I don't know how good they're going to affect the model, but you do have that option if you want it. For now, I'm just going to go on and take and put the Y harness in that comes provided in the kit, and just put them into a standard channel. But you do have that option if you wanted it. I know a lot of customers ask me that, like on the F16 if you can do it, and yes you can. The new version 2 F16 also can have them split into their own channels. Pretty simple. You do have the reverse function on this one. We're going to need to put that into either, we can put it in channel 6 if you have a 6-channel, because there is no landing gear. So that's where I'm going to put mine. So we're going to take and go throttle into throttle port. And I'm not going to set up the gyro right now with you guys. I'm just going to get the airplane working. There are full standalones on this if you are interested in how to set up this Admiral Stability Plus gyro though. Gear is where we're going to put that. And elevator. Alright. Now, I'm just going to stick this down out of the way for now. And I need a bind plug. Lori, would you grab me a bind plug hanging up right over there? Knew I forgot something. We are on the home stretch. We're going to be ready to fly this when we get done with this. And we're going to make it in under an hour. We got 10 minutes. I always love trying to see if I can build one ready to go fly in under an hour. Always makes me happy. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bind the airplane to my radio. Like I said, normally I put them on my Futaba, but I'm out of receivers at the moment. So we'll put her on here. We need a new model. Add a new model. Default. Airplane. Create. And I'll show you how the thrust reverse works, and it's the same whether you're doing the thrust reverse on this model, or that model, or any of our new models that are coming with the reverse thrust feature. I'll show you how I do them, because I know there's been a few questions on the Facebook community here lately on how to set that up, and I'll show you exactly how to do it momentarily. So what we're going to do right now is bind the model. So I have my bind plug in. I'm going to plug the model in now. Look for the receiver to flash. It is. I'm going to hit bind. Hold my radio away for a few seconds. There it goes. I'm going to show you just how I've set up every model. Alright, so now we have ailerons, elevators, and throttle. Yep. Now, before we go any further, what I want to do is assign my switch. So what I'm going to do, and this is the same on any Spectrum radio or Futaba. Futaba, I like that momentary switch. On Spectrum, I like using the I button. So for our customers that run that, that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to go into our channel assignment. And for right now, we have our reverse function into the gear port. So what we're going to do is take the gear channel in the channel assignment, and we're going to put that on the I switch, which is your momentary switch. I believe it's SF on Futaba. It's the one over in the corner. But I have now done that. So now we know our momentary channel is there. Let's plug the airplane back in. Oh, I left the bind plug in. My bad. Let me rebind real quick. Ah, geez. Rookie mistake. Hiya. I'm going to pull that out this time. Alright, now we want to see if our throttle is running the right direction. So it's as easy as just kind of put your hand there and crack it open. And if we hit the bind button now... Nope. I must not have it in the right channel. Oh, I have it upside down. See, look.
Ah, jeez.
Jeez, jeez.
Jeez.
New guys. There we go. Alright, now we can run it up a little bit. Oh, nope. Backwards. Alright, so all we need to do is just reverse it now. And I feel like it might be hitting on something. Just going to check. Alright, so we want to go servo setup, reverse, and we're going to reverse channel 5 gear. Yep, now it's going the right way. If we hit the reverse, yep. So that's all it is. Easy, easy peasy. Now, we've got our throttle going the right way. The next thing we always want to do is a throttle calibration. Same whether it's Futaba or Spectrum, but you always want to do this first thing on any new model you get from us, Freewing Flight Line. Full throttle on the transmitter, plug the model in, listen for the 2 beeps. Teet teet, and down to 0. And there we go. Alright, now that we have the model plugged in and it's on, we know that everything is centered. So now we can turn the model over, and I'm going to leave it turned on for this part. We're going to put our control horns on now. Now the reason we waited till now is they were folded down and into the model, and they weren't going to be centered. Now I can actually verify they're working the correct directions, everything's moving in and out like it should. Now when I clip my control horns on and I center up my wings, I know they're in the right place. Now we need to look in the manual. It tells you right here, ailerons, main wing push rods are going to go into the outer hole on the arm and the second hole on the one that's on the actual aileron. And make sure you're following that per the instructions. There's a reason we put them in there. It gives you the right throw. So once again, we're going to take and just put that on. Now, when I clip it in, hang on a second, let me throw all this stuff in here, and I'm going to be turning it over and up and down and left and right for a second. I'm going to clip all this in here so that I don't have to keep fighting this. What's my time left before noon? Am I going to make the noon cutoff for a sweet build all in one time?
Yeah,
5
5 minutes.
minutes. Ooh, it's going to be tight today. Alright, so I'm going to just stick this in here for now. We definitely need to make that prettier before we actually go on. But what I want to do is stick it in there so I don't have to fight with it. There we go. Alright, so what we're looking for now, if you can see that aileron right here. Wait, wrong one. This is the one I just hooked up. You can see it's off. And the way we're going to fix that is we're going to mechanically spin this little white piece outward to make it to where it lines up perfectly right across here. This is very important. You could do it with sub-trim, but I always say mechanical is the best option. You're not using up any of your servo travel by doing this. So, we need to go out a few turns. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. Let's see how that looks now. Oh, it's right on the money. So now we can push that through, clip it in, and push our rubber down. And we're going to go do the same thing on the other side now. Outer hole on the white part. And then we're going to check where our hookup looks. Too far in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try that now. Let's see how that looks. Just needs to come out just a hair bit more. 1 turn maybe. I'll give it 2. Just for good measure. Alright, that gets our ailerons both on there straight now. Lastly is our elevator. Once again, we loosened this off earlier and tightened it back out after we pulled them out. Just to show you what we're going to do now is we're going to loosen them off inside. You can see those little guys right there, and we're going to hook those up. And these, according to the manual, elevator are going to go to the center hole. So what I'm going to do is pop the canopy open for a second. We're going to grab our little wrench here, and we're going to loosen them off. And what that does is it makes it where you can slide them in and out right now. And I'll pop those on back here on the center hole. So, we're going to clip them in for now, and then we're going to flip the airplane back over and center them using that little part. There we go, clip them in. Alright, now we're going to flip it back over so that we've got them hooked in. Put them back in here. There we go. Now we want to hold our elevator centered, and our control horn is just a hair off. So what I'm going to actually do, my control horn right now, so I've centered my servo. My control horn is, instead of being 90 degrees, is actually in there like this. So what I'm going to do is take it loose, pop it over to where it's straight now. Just do that real quick. We are almost there, guys. This is the last step. Alright, so we're going to pop that off. We're going to put it in there straight. Just like so. Put our little screw back in. We're going to center our servos. Oh, I'm done right here. This is it. I just got to tighten this up. Tighten that little guy up right there. And now give it a check. And it is working. Last thing to do is just to make sure everything's going the right direction and set up some dual rates. So let's see. Left, is backwards. So let's go to servo setup and reverse. Ailerons. There we go, the right way. Elevator. Boom, it's set up. There it is. In 1 hour, we have set up and built this little airplane. Now I need to go in and make sure my antenna wires are in there and they're 90-degree directions and that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to keep you guys waiting for that. But hey, Admiral, Lemon are the same. Yeah, we have both on the website now. I think that we're actually going to just have them as, no? No more Admiral. Ah, my bad. I didn't even notice. Have I missed the other ones?
No.
Oh, okay, just making sure I didn't miss any other questions. Okay, so we're just lemon now. Sorry. I saw James just did the lemon ones, and I guess those are in there. I have one of those too, I could grab it. But anyway, there it is. All put together in under an hour-ish. I missed it by 1 minute this time. So I hope you guys decide to check one of these out. Like I said, they are in stock, shipping right now. If you want one, you can get one. Same thing, Cougar is in stock and shipping now. And they are all beautiful airplanes. Comes with the thrust reverse right out of the box. You don't have to use it, of course, if you're going to be hand launching it. But if you decide to put the wheels on it, it's nice that that feature's in there already out of the box. And I think that's everything, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this today. It's just been a fun little thing putting this airplane together. And then don't forget, tomorrow James is going to be putting up his live show, probably here in a little while or later today. But he's going to be doing an unboxing of one of the Bancroft boats. And it's just an exciting time to be in the RC hobby, because here at Motion RC we are getting new stuff every day, it feels like. It's hard to keep up with all of it here lately. But I hope y'all enjoyed this little hangout today. I know most of the guys really enjoy it when I put these airplanes together with you. And I've really enjoyed it. So hey, whether it's land, sea, or air, Motion RC has what you want. Thank y'all for spending your afternoon with us. We will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.